So he was a kind of a tragicomic figure. I always got on very well with him. Larger than life, big booming Texas voice. He commanded every room he was in. But, you know, like I say, very vulnerable, very, you know, nothing was ever quite right. He was always very sensitive to criticism or someone giving out the wrong vibe. Or what do you mean by that? You know, and we got to know each other. And he never really lost that. You know, I would say he was a glass half full guy, which a lot of rock frontmen are. You know, they're big, oversensitive teddy bears. You know, they need constant cuddling and pampering. But in his case, it seemed slightly at odds with this huge character that he portrayed on stage and in his videos. But then, as he, you know, he wasn't a singer-songwriter. He used to say to me, "I don't, you know, when you hear those songs, that's not." In his mind, that's not Meat Loaf singing Meat Loaf's new song. That's whatever character is in that song singing the song. So he always approached it like parts he was playing. And in fact, I think probably he might have been happier if he had been a big theatrical star. He did a ton of movies. He was in about 60 odd movies, a lot of stage roles, TV. But of course, it was this incredible record, Bat Out of Hell, which turned him into this global superstar, very unlikely global superstar. The last time I spoke to him, he seemed to be in a good place mentally. He definitely was proud of the achievements, but stuff still rankled. You know, the last time he came to London was in 2017 when my book came out. And at the same time, the stage musical for Bat Out of Hell had just launched in London. And it was billed as Jim Steinman's Bat Out of Hell. The words Meat Loaf didn't appear anywhere in the show, not even in the program, not anywhere on the merchandise, nothing. Jim himself, who died last year, was too ill to come. He was wheelchair bound by then. And Meat Loaf came. And Meat Loaf did promotion, and I felt so bad for him because he had nothing to do with the musical. Steinman had completely cut him out of the whole thing, which was his right to do. They were his songs. But there was something horribly, you know, pathetic about the whole thing. And my heart went out to him because he was a genuine guy. He was all heart, you know, he was big Texan, heartfelt, never held anything back. He left it all on the table every show. He wore his heart on his sleeve. And I think people took advantage ultimately. I mean, he made a hell of a lot of money and he ended up with this fabulous career. Bat Out of Hell, I'm told, is one of the top 10 best-selling albums of all time. But yeah, there was a lot going on that only Meat really knew about. A lot of demons, a lot of things that I don't think he ever really finally resolved. Well, everybody I've spoken to today talks about I'd do anything for love, but I won't do that. There are other songs, of course, you know, Paradise by the Dashboard Light, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. But I think probably that will be that's the song everyone will remember. Bat Out of Hell, 1 or 2 will be the records that people understandably most associate with him. And I think probably, unless you are a Meat Loaf fan, unless you're very kind of involved in that area and you're just tremendously interested. I mean, I keep telling people he did over 60 movies and their jaws drop. I mean, a lot of them were just cameos, but some of them weren't. When I mentioned the stage musicals he was in, They've never heard that. They don't know that. Jim Steinman, bizarrely, I suppose, not many people, their antenna doesn't always twitch when you mention that name either. So I think it'll be Bad Out of Hell. I think it'll be I'll Do Anything for Love, but I Won't Do That, which was, you know, #1 in 28 countries. And I think they'll remember this big guy who, almost like a pantomime aspect.